But now, chat, we're not talking about Spider-Man just yet. We will in a couple minutes. Maybe like 45 minutes from now. But we got to get to Rocky, chat. As I said, one of the greatest sports movies of all time. One of the best my personal favorite sports movie of all time. And what's so interesting about this film is that for the most part, not a lot of sports in it. Not a lot of fighting. I mean, the movie, it opens up. It's fucking Philadelphia, the dead of winter, November. Yeah, it's November actually, because this takes place on Thanksgiving, I believe. It's November 1975, chat, and we see good old Rocky Balboa. He's battling Spider Rico, and it's not much of a match in all honesty, chat. They're just kind of flailing at each other. You got the audience, you're just yelling, "You guys are a bunch of bums!" Bum. The word "bum" is used throughout this entire movie. Everyone says Rocky's a bum, and the guy he's fighting is a bum. You're all bums. I mean, you people don't look all that great either, okay? You look like you've lived a hard life. You're 35 years old and you look 65 years old, okay? And that's what I like about this movie, chat. Like, where they film, it feels very real, very gritty. This is the poor section of Philadelphia. I mean, they're going to the markets and the flea markets and these neighborhoods where people are just living out there. They're by these garbage cans and just have a fire just to stay warm because it's fucking Philadelphia. And it's 0 degrees outside. And that's how they kind of filmed this movie. We're just like, we don't have any permits. We don't have the money for it. We're just going to be in a van. We're going to put the camera in the fucking van. And we're going to film you, Sylvester Stallone. You just start running. And there's a lot of great scenes like that. And just people like watching Sylvester Stallone walking by. It's like, what the fuck's happening here? It's very cool. But we're not there yet, chat. But we're watching Rocky and Spider Rico, and they're fighting. And Spider Rico, it looks like he has the upper hand on Rocky, but he has his coach there, chat. Not really his coach. I guess it's like his temporary manager, temporary coach. And he's like, Rocky, you gotta fucking put him down, man. Okay, you gotta end this. It's not looking good for you. And Rocky's like, oh, and then he fucking goes up there and he beats the shit out of Spider Rico, chat. He's declared the winner. The crowd goes, hey, whatever. You're still a bum, Rocco. And he's like, I don't care. He goes out there, chat. He's fucked up. He's got like a big old cut in his eye. That's gonna need some stitches. His ribs are all bruised. He goes over to the his gym or his like little locker room, chat, and he's just sitting down. And in the corner, you got Spider Rico. He's just fucking laying down. He's got a beer open. He's just pouring all over himself. And he's like, that was a good fight, Rocco. He's like, yeah. And then, chat, they have the owner of the establishment come in. This is like, I don't know what kind of fucking establishment this is. Like, it's a club? Is it a gym? I don't know. Clearly, this is like some off-the-beat type of fighting they're going on right here. And the guy comes in there and is like, okay, well, the locker, that's going to cost you some money. The shower's going to cost you some money. The doctor, that's going to cost you some money. So, Spider Rico, you lost, so you're going to get $17. That's to get the shit beat out of yourself, chat. He's going to get $17. And Rocky doesn't get much, he doesn't work out much better for him. Because then he gets $40 fucking dollars. So, like, to have the shit kicked out of you, to have brain trauma, broken bones, I mean, really going to be laid up for quite a while. $40 or $17. $40 to $17. Damn. And Rocky's like, I'll take it. Like, but the only thing's on his mind, Chaz, when's my next fight? And he says, I'll let you know. So Rocky, he's not the champ that we often see in some of these future Rocky films. I mean, he's always the underdog, always, but we always see him like he's living like a pretty good lifestyle. Here, this is when he is almost destitute, chat. I mean, he is poorer than poor, and like this is like his one of his major sources of income is going out there in the ring, getting his ass kicked, and pocketing $40 per fight. So already it's establishing this guy, his life is not great. And so then he just goes out in Philadelphia. It's the middle of the fucking night. It looks cold as balls out there, chat. They got the garbage fires. People are trying to keep warm. And this is what I like with the film, because it feels so real. Like, because like all the extras, I imagine they were all just real people. That's what it is. It's like, hey, you want to be in a movie? And they're like, fucking sure. I'll be in a real movie, and they'll pay him however much, probably $40 fucking dollars, $17 to $40, chat. And you just be there. We'll have Rocky. We'll have fucking Sylvester Stallone. He'll just walk on by, and you could say something to him, and he'll respond to you. So it's like, okay, this is cool. It just sets the scene of the city itself, because it's very much a character in the film. It's representative, I think, of Rocky himself, which is so cool. And so he's going by all these places, chat. He goes by this little pet store, sees little puppers in there, goes by a stoop, where the stoop kids are, chap. And these stoop kids, they're not as nice as Stoop Kid from Hey Arnold. Because these stoop kids is talking a lot of shit. They're calling fucking Rocky a bum. And he notices one of them right there, this girl. I'm going to call her Angie, chat. I don't know what her name is. We're just going to call her Angie for the sake of convenience. He's like, get your ass over here. He's trying to lecture her, chat. He's trying to teach her a good lesson. You know, Angie, you hang out with all those guys. All they want you for is what you got right here. They just want you for your body. You got to take care of yourself, Angie. She's like, fuck off. And, she's like pulling out a cigarette. She's like 12 years old or something like that. Like 13, 12. She pulls out a cigarette. He's like, don't fucking smoke. It's going to turn your teeth yellow. She's like, nah. She doesn't care, chap. I mean, she looks 13, but she sounds far older than what her age actually is. And so he walks her home. He's being a good guy. Rocco's being a good guy. Walks her home, chat. And she goes up to her stoop, chat. Opens the door. She turns around and is like, hey, Rocky. He goes, well, what's up, Angie? You're a fucking creep. And she slams the door. And he just goes, I can't win. I fucking can't win. He just wanders off, chap. Thankfully, it's starting to become daylight. The sun is rising over Philadelphia, chat. And he goes to the pet store. He goes in there, he sees little puppies, he's like, oh, they're so cute. But he needs some goddamn turtle food for his turtles, chat. That's what he needs. Matter of fact, these are the turtles. These turtles have been in every Rocky film, and they're still alive to this day. Sylvester Stallone has owned these turtles since 1975 when they shot the movie. That's pretty fucking incredible. Nice little fun fact there for you. But the real reason why he's going there, Chad, is not to see the little puppies, not to buy turtle food, even though it's important, he needs it. Not to see Bupkis, which is Sylvester Stallone's real-life dog, the same dog that he had to sell. It broke his heart to sell so he wouldn't be out on the street when he was finishing this script. He eventually bought the Bupkis back. After he was paid. Like, that was one of the first big things he bought. I just want to buy my dog back. So again, the charm, Chad. It was his real life. Stallone was a real life underdog here. It was amazing. But the real reason why he's going to this pet shop, Chad, he wants to talk to Adrian. And Adrian, she's this incredibly shy girl who, she really she can't really hold a conversation. She just kind of wants to do her job. And Rocky, he's always trying to make her laugh. I mean, kind of hitting on her, trying to initiate a conversation. And you can tell, like, she wants to engage, but she has just had... we'll see kind of the example of why she is the way she is when we meet fucking Paulie. Fucking Paulie, Chad. Can we just say Paulie's a terrible influence, all right? He's never done anything good for Rocky. He's a fucking leech, both on Adrian and on Rocky and everyone else. He's the reason why they lost their fortune in Rocky 5. That's what happened. Remember that shit? It's terrible. Polly's a bitch. I agree, Chris Ayers. Polly's a bitch. So, Adrian, she's very mousy. The other clerk, she walks in there. She's like, get out of here, Rocky. She's like, I just want to talk to Adrian. I want to talk to Adrian. And then Adrian, she'll occasionally look up in Rocky. She can tell that she wants to talk to him too. But again, through whatever trauma she's had in her life, I think both from abusive parents and abuse of her brother, I don't know if it's physical. I don't think it's physical. It's more just like psychological abuse, emotional abuse. And the clerk goes, go clean the cat cages downstairs. And she goes to clean the cat cages downstairs. And Rocky, he goes out for the rest of his day. And now, chat, we see what he kind of does for his day job. And he's a fucking henchman. He's the muscle to a local gangster, Grazzo, I believe is. I'm going to say Grazzo. Grazzo, which apparently, chat, in the original script, Sylvester Stallone wanted to make Grazzo Rocky's older brother, but they felt like that was too similar to On the Waterfront, so they just changed it completely, and they just made him a character not related to Rocky, just kind of like the local gangster. And so Rocky, he's got to go to to the waterfront, to this warehouse. This guy owes Grazzo money, and Grazzo, he told Rocky, he's like, listen, you break his fucking thumbs, okay? He owes me like $150, either $200 or $150. I think it's $200. It's $200. So you got to go over there and get me $200. And he goes over. This guy's like, oh, jeez, Rock, come on, man, I'll suck your dick. And he doesn't say that shit. And Rocky, again, he puts up like a very tough front. He's like, you owe him some money. He kind of grabs the guy, but Rocky, he won't go that extra mile. He's not going to break this guy's thumbs. He takes pity on him because this guy, I mean, he's in a situation like Rocky. It's like we're all living in this level of destitution which we cannot escape. All right, this guy looks 30 years older than Rocky, and I think Rocky just sees like, I'm going to end up like him. This is what it's going to be. And I'm like, Jesus. Okay, this is cool. He's like, all right, the guy gives Rocky, I think, like $130. He's still short 70, I believe. And he's like, all right, you get me that guy, you get the $70. The guy's like, don't break, the guy's first saying, he's like, don't break my thumbs, Rock, don't break my thumbs. I guess that's Grazzo's thing, I'll break your thumbs. I'm not going to break your thumbs, you bring me that money. Then he goes back to Grazzo, he gets in the car, chat. and he gives the 130 to Grasso. And, Growl's Rocky tells him, the guy, he says he's good for it. And Growl's like, yeah, he'll get me the 30. He'll get me the 30. That's fine, whatever. But then, Chad, he has his driver who only talks shit to Rocky. The entire calling Rocky stupid. He makes other references later on in the film, just always talking shit. And Rocky's kind of remaining calm. You could tell it really is starting to bother him. And then Grasso says, all right, stop the goddamn car. And he also he dresses the other guy down. Because at first, Grasso, it's a weird relationship they have. Like, Grasso, he's a local gangster. He's using Rocky. But then Grasso, he kind of is, in his own weird way, trying to take care of Rocky. Well, he gives him money. Like, hey, for that, here's $20, all right? Get yourself some hot food, put it towards you, the rent and things. So, it's a weird relationship. Grasso's only in the first and second film. And, I don't know, it's weird. I think the reason why he's just such positive, so he acts so positively towards Rocky is because he initially was written as Rocky's brother. That's the only explanation I can think of. Rocky, him and Grasso, they go outside, and Grasso kind of talks to him. He's like, listen, I have a reputation. I told you to break his thumbs, and when I tell you something, you fucking do. And Rocky's like, listen, I thought if I broke his thumbs, he wouldn't be able to do his job, and he wouldn't be able to pay you back. He's like, listen, you don't do the fucking thinking. I do the thinking, okay? If I tell you to do something, you do it, all right? And, he's like, go get this guy Del Rio. And Rocky's like, how do you spell Del Rio? Can you spell it out for me? He's like, Rocky, go ahead and find him tomorrow. And then he goes back to the car. He drives off. The driver says something smarmy to Rocky. Rocky's like, fuck, jeez, I can't win. I can't win. And then later that night, I think Rocky also goes back to his apartment. He lives it's not a great apartment, chat. There's asbestos on the ceiling, on the walls. There's fucking, beer bottles been, stuck inside the top of the couch like it's decor. Like it's decoration. Carly, welcome to the stream. I'm talking about Rocky's apartment. He has, beer. He has, it's like, imagine my chair right here, chat, except it's just layered with beer bottles on top of like a fucking throne. I just noticed that. I was like, this is kind of odd. And he's got a picture of Rocky Marciano, who was, I think, a real-life boxer at the time. That was the person that inspired Rocky as a child. And we see some older pictures of Rocky when he was a kid. I was like, okay, so he's been fighting his whole life, chat, but he's never gotten that chance. He's never gotten that chance. Meanwhile, later the night, he goes to the local bar, the local place where he's drinking and eating with all his friends, brings in a bum who is just literally dying on the street and kind of sits him in there. It's like, hey, why don't you stay warm next to this guy? Because now Che's going to go see his friend Paulie, who is the brother of Adrian. And he goes in there, and Paulie, again, the guy, I forget the actor who plays him, Robert Young? Is his name Robert Young? Burt Young, chat. He goes there, and Paulie, he's a son of a bitch. He's not a nice guy. He's just a leech. He's a leech on Rocky. He's a leech on Adrian. And I don't know, I guess Rocky just kind of pities him. He's like, well, at least I'm not him. At least I'm not fucking Paulie. Maybe that's it. I don't know about, drop him, get rid of him, Rock. Kick him to the curb. And he's asking Paulie, he's like, hey, I really like to go on a date with Adrian. Did you tell her about that day I want to go on with her? And he's like, oh, yeah. I told her. Just come by the house on Thanksgiving. You guys can go out after we eat the turkey. He's like, oh, I like turkey. And then they go out there, chat. And Paulie and Rocky, they're talking. They're going to the Paulie's house. Really, it's Adrian's house. He's the one that's bringing the fucking cash. Like Paulie, he's always asking Rocky, "Hey, listen, can you talk to Grasso for me? Like, I'd be a good collector for him." And first of all, you would not, Paulie. You look. First of all, Rocky could push you over. You wouldn't be able to get up. He's racked with arthritis, chef, from working in a meat factory. In a meatpacking plant for 20 goddamn years. You can barely make a fucking fist. And funny enough, Burt Young actually put turpentine in his hands so they would remain kind of in pain where he constantly has to flex them, which is interesting. A little bit of method acting there. And so he's taking fucking Rocky to his house. But it's a fine house, Chad. This is the nicest section of the destitute area of Philadelphia. And so they go in there. And Adrian's like, why is he here? So Paulie clearly didn't tell Adrian that, the Rocky wanted her on a date. And Paulie's like, he wants to take in a date. And she's like, I'm making a turkey. I'm making Thanksgiving right now. He's like, fuck Thanksgiving. Go out with Rocky. And she's like, I can't do this. She runs into her room. She's too shy. And then Paulie, just being an abusive prick, so, he's like, get out here and go on a date with him. He's like, I don't want you to tell me about this. And then she finally comes out, and she's like, I got a turkey in the oven. Oh, you got a turkey in the oven? I'll take care of the turkey. And he fucking goes to the kitchen, chat. He opens it up, and he fucking takes this big old fucking knife, bow, right up the turkey's ass, lifts it up, opens the back door to like the side alley where their car is and says, "Here's your turkey." Fine, he fucking flings that shit. And he takes a leg and just starts eating. What a dick move, Polly. And like, go ahead and get it. It's in the fucking gutter. She's like, oh, Polly, why? And then she goes to her room. She's crying, chat. Polly, terrible guy. Armin Sand, welcome to the stream. Good to see him. Oh. And Rocky's like, I think I should go. This is a lot of bad things happening here, but he's like, no, Polly's like, go and talk to her. Go talk to her door. And Rocky's like, fuck, all right. Rocky goes over and he's like, hey, probably should have done this myself instead of asking your brother. I realized the error that I committed here. You want to go on a date, you just want to talk and stuff and get some food or get a drink or something. And chat, she opens the door and she's already dressed up, ready to go. Just probably to get away from fucking Paulie at this point. She's like, okay, let's go. It's like, yay, chat. The start of the relationship is beginning. Dark said, thank you. Right up its ass, chat. Right up that cavity. And Paulie's just fucking, he's just munching on a big old hock and turkey leg. Probably shouldn't do that because it was not cooked fully through. And so a lot of salmonella, a lot of bad things right now. Paulie will probably be dead or probably has incredible food poisoning right now and is just vomiting and shitting himself to death, which would have been a blessing for both Rocky and Adrian in hindsight. In hindsight, it would have been better. Their lives would have been much better without Paulie. By the way, I talk shit about Paulie, but Burt Young gives a great performance in this movie. He simply does. I think the character gets a little more ridiculous as the series goes along, but he is great. He got nominated for an Oscar, same with Tyler Shire as Agent. They all do a very good job. And so, Armored saying, thank you to the 100 biddies. Hey, Mr. Juicy, just asking, when will you review Looney Tunes Back into Action? I just got here. No problem. Happy to see you as always, man. Let me go and check. I will check for you. So they're going on the date, chat. That's where we are. I believe... Oh, let me see what I have ahead of us. So after Rocky, chat. Oh, wow, what a fucking follow-up chat for Friday. Bratz, the movie. Godfather Part 2, Twilight, Princess Bride, Rampage, Van Helsing, Predator, Resident Evil Apocalypse, Planet of the Apes, 1968, Aladdin, 1992 original, Wild Wild West, Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, The Thing, Predator 2, The Meg, Enter the Dragon, Catwoman, The Gallows, Replicas, Stealth. Which one did you say? Did you want to know? Looney Tunes, that's it. Anaconda. After Anaconda will be Looney Tunes Back in Action, so I think at least 2 weeks from now. Probably a little over 2 weeks, sir. We're pretty ahead in terms of the movie reviews. But that's when it'll be, right around the time of Anaconda, right after Anaconda. But now, chat, we're on the date. And Rocky, he's just telling Adrian about his life, because Adrian's not going to talk to him. She's so shy, she just doesn't really want to do anything, or like it's like Rocky's like, you want to go ice skating, you want to do that, and he's basically telling her about like boxing, what he does, and just trying to have her come out of her shell. And much like his turtles, chat, see, it's all connected. There's layers. And so he's like, hey, want to go ice skating? Let's go ice skating. And she's like, sure, I like ice skating. So they go to the ice skate rink, chap. The thing is, it's fucking Thanksgiving, and everything is closed down. All the restaurants are closed down. All the bars are closed down. All the, the public places are closed down. They go in there, and the guy's like, it's fucking closed. It's Thanksgiving. And he's like, well, listen, I got this girl here, and she's a little, she needs some help. Oh, funny enough, chat, earlier, when this is when Grouse seems to be a good guy, because Rocky was doing collections earlier, and Grasso heard that he's going on a date, and he's like, you know what, Rocky, I'm happy for you. Here's $50. And he's like, nothing, no questions asked. Take the $50. Go have a nice time. He's like, that's really nice. But then Grasso's driver ruins the fucking moment and says, I hear she's retarded. Why don't you take her to the zoo? The retards love the zoo. And Rocky's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I was like, okay. But now we're here, chat, and he kind of uses that logic on the ice rink guy. The guy's on the jabroni, chat, on the jabroni, and he's telling the guy, listen, she just had surgery. The doctor says ice skating is the perfect thing that she needs, and he's like, all right, fuck, $10 for 10 minutes. And he's like, I'll give you $8 for 10 minutes. He's like, listen, fuck. It's Thanksgiving, man. $10, 10 minutes. Rocky's like, all right, goddamn it, fine. Gives him, and then and it's a very cool moment, chat, where they're just on the ice skate. Like, he can't wear ice skates because if he fucking, if he messes up his ankles and he's done, he can't fight no more. So she's on the ice rink, chat, and they're just having that conversation. Again, it's very, very charming. He explains that he's a southpaw boxer. That's like a specific fighting stance. I guess for southpaw boxer, like how you fight is backwards when compared to a regular boxer. If I'm getting that incorrect, please let me know. I am no expert. I am no expert when it comes to the art, the sport of boxing. But I believe like southpaw is a specific fighting style, boxing style. So, and there's a little improv here because at one point, like Adrian, she kind of like almost falls a little bit, and like Rocky goes to catch her, and what happens is his pinky comes out, or it dislocates his pinky, and that was actually Tyler Shire's reaction because that actually happened, and where apparently like Sylvester Stallone, he did college football. Or it was like high school football or something. He had an injury where he would constantly dislocate his pinky, and he pops it back in, and it was a nice little moment. So again, all that little stuff where it's like, wait, is that actually happened? It actually did. It's pretty cool. And then the guy's like, fucking 10 minutes or I'll get your asses off the ice. He's like, all right, we'll go back. They go back. They get off the ice, and then they're walking to Rocky's apartment, and Adrian's just like, you don't want to go in. Adrian does not fuck on the first date. I don't think that was the case here. I don't think they're going to fuck on the first date, but he's like, listen, I want to show you where I live. Come in. And they go in the apartment chat, but she's very, very nervous. Adrian's like, do you have a telephone? And Rocky's like, I don't have a telephone. I don't got one. He's like, I want to tell Paulie that I'm here. And he's like, hold on a second. He goes to the window chat, opens up the window. Yo, Paulie, Adrian's at my apartment right now. Hey! And he closes the window. And then you hear the dogs and the cats meowing and howling outside after that. It's very funny. And she's like, I don't know. She's looking around the stuff, Chad, looking around his fucking beer decor. He's got a lot of beer bottles, like on his couch and things like. You could have cleaned up the place, Rocky. Okay, could have did that for Adrian. And she's like, you know what? I want to go. But then he's like, don't go. And this is a weird. Apparently, this is like Sylvester Stallone's favorite moment in the movie. And I listen. Times have changed. It was obviously well-intentioned. It's not supposed to come off as creepy, but it kind of does. Because he kind of is making her uncomfortable. He's kind of like blocking door with his hands. Like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. But again, times are different. This is not what they intended. But at the same time, it's like now, it's like, yeah, it's a little weird. And he's like, no, you look pretty when you take off your glasses. She takes off her glasses. And, they're also like, there's a line in this where he says, my dad, he told me that, I don't have much of a brain, so I got to use my body. And where, Adrian, she says, and my mother always used to tell me, I don't have much of a body, so I got to use my brain. But Rocky, he finds the beauty in Adrian. She takes off her glasses, she takes off her hat, and all Rocky sees is a beautiful woman. And then we get the line, which is like, at least he asked here. He did ask this, chat. He's like, you don't mind, I'm going to kiss you. I'm going to kiss me back. And I'm like, I don't think that's appropriate. And he goes in there, chat, and they start smooching. And Adrian, she smooches him back, and they're smooching on the ground. I don't think anything happens here. I don't think they have any. I think they're just smooching. I don't know what's implied. But apparently this is both Tyler Shire's and Sylvester Stallone's favorite moment in the entire Rocky anthology, the entire film series, chat. It's a good moment. A little weird, obviously, but at the same time, I see what they were going for. Ronnie, welcome to the stream. Shin Kong, good to see you. Southpaw equals boxer from the South and lives in a trailer park. Okay? Okay, now we know. Ronnie, what up, Chris? How are you doing today? I'm doing very well, man. Doing very well. It's been a fantastic stream so far talking about Rocky, my favorite sports movie of all time. Everybody go, its left hand is dominant. Okay. Thank you, guys. See, that's why I need the clarification here. You know I'm not smart. I'm dumb. And you need to make me more respectable with your corrections. Thank you. Rocky would be a put out all over Twitter now these days. A little bit. Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I totally understand what they were going for this scene. There's no question. It's meant to be a very sweet and intimate moment. I think we can probably agree to that, right? Angelo Jones, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. It's just now, it's like this wouldn't happen. Anyway, and now, chat, we're fucking cutting to something completely different right now, because now we're cutting to Apollo Creed, and he's the world heavyweight champion of the world, chat. Fucking Carl Weathers. It's funny, he's barely in this movie, but he makes use of his limited screen time, because he is fucking Mr. Charisma in every scene, chat. And it's like, oh man, it's like, I would have loved to have seen, and this was rumored back in the day, of them doing an Apollo Creed prequel. They never did, obviously, about his coming to, like, his American dream story of him coming up and to be the heavyweight world champion. Never did. Eventually, just that was turned into Creed, which is great. Armored Saiyan, thank you so much. How many biddies was that, good sir? For the 145 biddies. Appreciate it, my man. Keep on doing the great job. Thank you, Armored Saiyan. I appreciate the support. I always love hearing that, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, R.I.P. Apollo Creed. Obviously, fucking Ivan Drago. If he dies. No, he took Apollo away from us, guys. But Carl Weathers is amazing. He's amazing in all the movies in the series that he's in, and here he makes use of the screen. He's so charismatic, and that's a part of his character is that he's a hype man. Listen, the reason why he got here was not only because he's a good boxer, but because he knows how to talk the talk and walk the walk. Yeah, he can do both perfectly, and that's why he's so successful. That's why he's been able to have this fortune that he has. And he has this whole big fucking shindig plan, Chan, about him and another boxer. It's gonna be a lot of money's on the line. And the thing is, apparently this boxer he was going up against fucking hurt his hand. He's gonna be out for like 7 weeks recovering. Like his hand just got fucked up. And he's like. And the promoter of the big event's like, listen, I mean, we can see what we can do, but I'll work on trying to find you another fighter. And Apollo Creed's like that. Listen, I don't want a lot of money's on the line here. I want to give people the entertainment that they deserve. We gotta find a fighter. That's what we gotta do. And so they're doing some research, chat. And the promoter, he's going like, I got this guy here for you. You know, some of these other people that I have, like all the ones that Apollo Creed has suggested. He's like, this guy, he's in France fighting right now. This other guy, he gained 50 pounds. There's no way he can get in shape to fight you at this time. And it's like, listen, I can only do so much. Apollo Creed's like, okay, we need to find, we're in Philadelphia, right? It's the fucking heart. It's the heart of America. It's the American goddamn dream. So let's find me a local fighter, an underdog. He gets this one chance to go at the champion of the world heavyweight title. And the promoter's like, Apollo, I like that idea. It's brilliant. It's like, goddamn, I know. I didn't get here just because I'm a goddamn good fighter, because I'm smart, okay? And so they spend their time looking for fighters, chat, and Apollo Creed just finds him. He just finds him because based on the name. Rocky Balboa, the Italian, or as he calls it, the Italian Stallion. Apollo Creed versus the Italian Stallion. Sounds like a goddamn monster movie. And it's like, I want this guy. The guy, he's like, look at him. He's like, I mean, this guy's ain't anything special. He's won 20 matches and he's lost 20 matches. And Apollo's like, you're not seeing the big picture, man. Again, this is me going up against the fighter. It's the ultimate underdog story, okay? He has the one chance at the title, you know? And the Philadelphia community will be all about it. And this will be like a fascinating chapter in boxing history. And at the end of the day, even if I'll knock him out in 3 fucking rounds no matter what, we all make a lot of money. It's a done deal. Let's fucking do it. And then, you know, Rocky, he's going to the gym. You know, I missed out one scene, chat, kind of establishing how shitty Rocky's life is. So he goes to one of the days before all the stuff happens with Apollo. He goes to the gym. He's trying to open up his locker. He's like, I can't open my locker up. And then one of the attendants there says, oh, yeah, Mickey, he moved you. He bagged you, man. He moved you. And when you're bagged, when your stuff is bagged and not in a locker check, then you bum. And he goes and talks to Mickey. And Mickey's like, listen, you've been coming here for 6 fucking years. You had potential, and the only thing you've been doing with your life, you're a fucking henchman to a goddamn loan shark. You're a bum, Rocky, you're a bum. And so Rocky's like, all right, fuck this. And so he leaves the gym, chat. But now because of all this hubbub with Apollo Creed fighting Rocky, things might change. Things might go in Rocky's favor. And so Rocky, he stops by the gym the next day. And apparently Mickey, he's got a message for him. Apollo Creed, he's looking for practice fighters. And they want you to come to this office so he can talk to you. I guess it's, I forget what the term is, practice fighters or something like that. So you go to this office. And so Rocky, he goes there. And he talks to the secretary. She leads him into the office of the promoter. And the promoter is like, Mr. Balboa's like, I prefer Rocky. He's like, don't call Mr. Balboa. That's my dad's name. Just call me Rocky. And he lays it down. He's like, you know, Rocky's like, I'm really excited about this job opportunity. I'd love to be one of the practice fighters for Apollo Creed. I'm very available. He's like, oh, man, no, Rocky, you don't understand. We don't want you to just practice fight. You want to be just like one of those trainers for Apollo Creed. No. We want you to fight Apollo Creed. We're giving you the opportunity of a lifetime at the heavyweight world title. Rocky says, no, I'm not going to do it. Because Rocky's like, I'm not going to be able to beat him. He's the best of the best of the best. You can't do it. And the guy's like, hey, listen, we're going to pay you $150,000 no matter what. Rocky's like, fucking sold, I'll do it. Because he needs that money, Chad. He needs to provide for Adrian. And so, at this point, he goes ahead. He tells Adrian and Paulie about this. They're watching TV that night. We see Apollo Creed. He's doing all he's hyping himself up. He's hyping Rocky up. But he's also kind of being a little bit of an asshole to him too. Because Rocky, he's not a very good public speaker at this point. He just can't. And so, like, anytime a reporter asks him all these questions, is basically one-word answers. You know, like the one time that Rocky actually gets excited about being on TV, it's just like, hey, yo, I want to shout out to my girlfriend, Adrian. Hey, Adrian, I'm on TV. And Adrian, like, him and Adrian are watching. And they're like, oh, it's Rocky. It's so cute. And so, again, Adrian, she's come out of her shell at this point, and she's really changed the characters. It's really nice. And Paulie's just like, he's always asking him, Rocky, though. It's like, oh, you're going to need a lot of support for that. I wonder if, I can help you. And Rocky's, I don't want you to help Paulie. You're a bum, Paulie. Paulie's actually a bum. Like Rocky, they always call Rocky a bum, but Paulie's the actual bum. And Paulie's always asking about Grasso, about being a henchman for Grasso. It's not going to work out, Paulie, okay? I think at one point later on, Rocky's like, okay, well, this shit's going to start happening. I got to go out there and train, chat. Oh, no, not yet. Am I right at that point yet? No. So, yeah, he's going to start training, and then we get, like, he's got to go out there and jog at 4 in the morning. We get the scene when he's just downing raw eggs. Chat. It looks fucking disgusting. I would definitely vomit. And they actually do a callback to that scene in Rocky Balboa, and where he can't do it anymore. He actually spits and he vomits them out. But here he's chugging like 6 eggs down. And he goes off on a nice jog where it's probably 0 degrees in Philadelphia. And he's going up those steps, chap, but he can't do it. He's got that pain in his side. He barely gets up there. We got the sad music playing. He goes back to his apartment. He's just kind of relaxing, just kind of coming down from all that stress he put in his body. And then who do we see walking up to his apartment, up those goddamn stairs? It's Mickey. Mickey, the guy who called him a bum, chat. And of course, Mickey, he's heard about all this hubbub surrounding Rocky challenging Apollo Creed. And so he goes up there, he knocks on the door, and Rocky sees Mickey, and he's like, hey, kid, can I come in? And then Mickey just starts telling him about his history, about like, hey, I was a fighter like you. I went up against all these guys, and I was wrong. I was wrong, Rock. This one fighter, he put a nail in his glove, and every time he hit me, my face got punctured. My face got all fucked up. I was a pretty kid back in the day, Rock. And he's like, that's why I had these beautiful ears, Rock, the most beautiful ears you ever see. And now I got this fucking vegetable. I have these cauliflower ears. And so, Mickey was wrong throughout his career. But the thing is, he's trying to make a point to Rocky. I never had no management. I never had a manager. But that's why I want to propose to you, Rock. I want to be your manager. I can give you the knowledge. You have a chance. And Rocky just unloads. He's like, first of all, for the first time in 6 years, you're actually coming to me because not only do you see this as a chance for, for me, but also a chance for you. Let's be honest about this, okay? Rocky's he's dropping facts right here. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And like for those 6 years that I was coming to that gym when I needed your help, to be a better fighter, you always called me a bum. And he just starts going off, and Mickey's like, shit. And then Mickey, he just leaves, and Rocky, he's just yelling. All this was improvised, by the way, chat. This whole spiel that Sylvester Stallone goes on. And eventually, we see Mickey, he just walking down the road. Rocky's calmed himself down. He goes out there and he follows him. And we don't, no dialogue, just music and the physical movements, chat. And he holds out his hand to Mickey, and Mickey takes it. So they made the deal. Because at the end of the day, chat, Rocky, he needs a trainer. He needs the management. He needs to learn how to. He needs to not only walk the walk, but talk the talk, chat. That's what he needs. That's what he needs from Mickey. And so Mickey, he just starts training Rocky, and we get like a lot of the big montages, chat. Him doing the whole jogging and shit like that, all that. And a lot of these scenes are pretty cool because it was all done without specific permits and like relatively no extras. These were actually real people. And what it was Sylvester Stallone and a small crew. The crew were in this fucking van with the camera, and they were just filming Sylvester Stallone. And the crowds were just like, what the fuck is going on? And there's this one moment in the sequence, chat, when a guy throws an orange at Sylvester Stallone, he catches it. That was completely improvised. That was not like planned at all. That was just some random shopkeeper in the flea market in downtown Philadelphia just throwing fucking fruit at Sylvester Stallone. So again, it's pretty funny. There's some scenes when Paulie, he's like, okay, what you need, Rocky? You need some proper promotion right here. And so he invites Rocky to the goddamn the place where he works out. I guess it's like St. Patty's meat, like the meat packing warehouse. That's where Paulie's got the arthritis because he's always working with cold meat all the time. And so he takes Rocky there. And he's like, I'm going to set something up for you. Why don't you come back the next day? And then, Paulie, again, he's very bitter of the situation with Grasso that Rocky hasn't talked to him. And he asks, Rocky's like, oh, you screwing my sister? And Rocky's like, first of all, you put us on that goddamn date. And don't talk about your sister that way. And then Paulie pressing his goddamn luck, he's not that smart. He says, "You are screwing my sister." And then Rocky kind of loses it a little bit, and he just begins, again, another iconic moment of him just punching the fucking shit out of that meat chap, breaking the actual ribs. And Sylvester Stallone, apparently, during this sequence of the film, this shoot for this day, he, like, Sylvester Stallone punched, it's gonna sound, punched the meat all so long, all day, chat, that he actually flattened the bones in his right and left hand, and where his knuckles, like, they're not even sticking out anymore. They were just so flattened by it. Like, he deformed himself while making this movie, chap. And then he leaves. And then he comes back the next day, and they have, like, Paulie, he set up the thing for the commercial, where Rocky's gonna be talking to the reporter. This is not a bad interview. And Paulie's, like, always trying to get on camera. He's like, what the fuck what was that gremlin man doing back there? He goes, nah, and he starts hiding, chat. And apparently, because the reporters, they've heard, it's like, now, Rocky, apparently you're coming here to train, and you've been just whacking on this meat, and can you show us? And then he just starts to do it, chat. He starts to whacking on all this meat. Meanwhile, we cut back to an office building. Apollo and his team, they're putting together all the fight itself, all the promotion for it. And one of Apollo's trainers, who I believe is in almost every movie with along with Apollo, I think he's in 2, and I also think he's in 4, and maybe even he's in 6 as well. He's in Rocky Balboa. He comes back as Rocky's trainer, because Mickey's not around anymore. And he's watching Rocky punch the shit out of this meat, and he's like, "Apollo, you might want to look at this, man. This is okay. I mean, you think you're gonna knock him down in 3? You should pay attention." Apollo's like, "Oh yeah, it's great. I'm sure he'll put up quite a fight." And the guy's like, "This I've never seen something like this before." And then chat. Again, multiple other training sequences that we have. Again, we have the iconic one of the music playing, and he's just running up there. And it's like over the Philadelphia steps, is cheering. It's an amazing moment. Fucking work ethic, absolutely right, Brave Mango. Work ethic. And now, chat, it is Christmas. I think Christmas Eve. And Paulie, he's walking home. He's drunk as shit. And apparently, chat, while filming this sequence, an actual drunk person wandered in, like, while they kind of had this one area of the street shut down. And Burt Young, he was yelling at Burt Young, apparently. And Burt Young's like, you know what? Let's fucking bring him over. Let's just see what he has to say. He's like, "You're not acting drunk. This is how you fucking guy was just hammered, chat. This is how you act drunk." And Burt Young actually used the same actions as the guy who just wandered on the set for this little sequence right here. Again, so many like cool little things. It's amazing guerrilla filmmaking, chat. And so he gets into the house, and Adrian and Rocky, they're just sitting there in the chair, and Rocky, he's kind of talking shit about Paulie. I mean, granted, he deserves it. Rocky's just like, "I don't know what I'm gonna do with him. He wants to be a part of my trainer, but he knows nothing about boxing. He wants to work for Grasso, but Grasso's not looking for someone like him to be a collector." And it's just like, "What are you going to tell him?" He's like, "I don't know what to tell him. I don't know. And then, Paulie walks in, just fucking hammering. He's like, "You don't need to tell me nothing. I don't want nothing from you, Rock." And then he takes his fucking bat chat and he's like, "I'm going to get out of my house. Get the fuck out of my house." And Rocky's like, "Take it easy." Adrian's like, "Paulie, relax." And Paulie just loses it, chat. He fucking destroys this lamp, destroys all this silverware and this dresser, chat. He's just losing his goddamn mind. He's like yelling at Adrian. He's like, "You should be nicer to me. You should take care of me." And Adrian loses it, chat. She's finally has the confidence that she always needed to have. And she's like, "I'm the one that's always taking care of you, Paulie. I cook your meals. I clean your clothes. I clean your goddamn dirty underwear. I do everything for you." He says, "Oh," Paulie pathetic, just crying. And then he said, I think he insinuates, "And you're nothing but a broken woman. He's screwing you and you're broken. You're 30 years old. No one wants it." She cries. She goes to her room. Rocky's like, "I'm about to beat the shit out of you if you keep talking." And then Rocky, he holds Paulie down. Rocky's blubbering, all that. Rocky's like, "Fine, okay." I'm going to go talk to Adrian. He goes in there, chat. Adrian's like, "Hey, you want a roommate?" He's like, "Yeah, I do want a roommate." So Adrian now moves in with Rocky, chat. Takes her to his apartment. There you go. More various more training sequences happen, chat. Sporadically throughout the film. But then Rocky, he's watching, or no, it's like the night before the final fight, chat. Night before the big match. He's just looking at Rocky Macchiato. He's seeing like all these newspaper clippings and magazine covers that he's on. And he feels antsy, he feels anxious, chat. So he goes to the arena where they're gonna be having the fight. And he's out there by himself. He's looking at the giant poster of Apollo Creed in the arena. Looks at the giant poster of him. and he notices that the color of the shorts he has on is wrong in the picture. In the poster, it's red trunks of a white stripe, but in reality, he's going to wear white trunks with a red stripe. And the promoters also, they're just kind of inspecting things. And Rocky says, "Hey, the poster, it's wrong." He's like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, I should have. I'm gonna be wearing white trunks of a red stripe. That's not what's there. The promoter goes, "What difference does it make? Don't worry about it, Rock. You're gonna put up a good fight. We're all cheering for you." And he leaves. And Rocky realizes that this isn't, like, this is my one shot, but this is all about publicity. This is just to hype up Apollo Creed. And he goes back home, and he's with Adrian. And he goes like, I'm never gonna beat him. I cannot beat him. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And like, he's scared. He's legitimately scared. Adrian's the one that kind of convinces him. Is like, this is an opportunity you never had before. Just take it. And then that convinces Rocky. He's like, I'm gonna do it for you, Adrian. And then we have the night of the fight, chat. He's getting hyped up. Fucking, the Apollo. He's getting hyped up. They're wrapping up all their hands in the tape. They're rubbing them all down, chat, putting a shit ton of nasal spray in their nose because their noses are going to start breaking and everything like that. And, they're walking out. Rocky, he cut a deal with Paulie at one point where, Paulie, to get him some money, just for him, Paulie, to shut the fuck up. Rocky's going to be advertising the meatpacking plant on his back. And so Paulie, he gets $3,000. Okay, so he's happy about it. And then he fucking walks out there. The robe itself is like, it doesn't fit him all that well, apparently. Like, a lot of things like went wrong in the production of this movie. Like, everything from the posters to even like the clothes that Stallone was supposed to wear. Everything was too big on Stallone. They took his measurements wrong. And so he's like, fuck it. I'm just going to wear my regular clothes. That's what he had to do for the film itself, chat. And then he's got this robe on. He goes out in there and they're doing the Italian Stallion versus Apollo Creed goes up and he can talk the talk, chat. He's America's man. And he's walking out there in a fucking makeshift boat, throwing money at people and everything. Living in America. Like, all that shit the entire time. The announcer's like, he's dressed up as one of our founding fathers, George Washington. Then he goes into the ring, chat, changes from George Washington to that iconic, Uncle Sam outfit. And he's just, like, pointing at Rock, I want you! Just talking all that shit. And Rocky's like, guy looks, I wonder how expensive that hat was. Again, staying humble. Rock staying humble. Whereas Apollo Creed, he's a little arrogant, chap. I love Apollo Creed, but he's a little arrogant. And then the fucking match starts. And it seems to be, going pretty, simple. It's taking a few jabs at each other. Apollo Creed, you can tell he's holding back. He's like, I can put this down. I can put this guy down. I can show you. And then, pow, he gets shit hit in the face. Shit fucking goes down. Apollo Creed goes down in the first round. Apollo Creed's going, what the fuck? And he's like, they're doing 1, 2, 3, and he's like, hold on. He gets up at 6, chat, and everyone's like, holy shit. For the first time in Apollo Creed's career, chat, and I think at this point, in 48 fights, I think it's 48 fights, maybe 49, he's never been knocked down in his life. He's won every single one, never been knocked down. It's the first time ever in the first round. He's like, oh shit, I underestimated this guy. And they start going at it, chat. Again, each one of them has the upper hand. And I like this scene. Because I don't know, for me, I don't know if this is like actual boxing. I'm not familiar with the sport enough to say, you know what, this is a very realistic fight right here. But I just like the way it's shot. Everything with the music playing, the choreography with Carl Weathers, just still on there. They're doing a great job throughout this. They go from, we see round 1 and round 2, and I think it goes all the way until round 14 or 15. And we see that last round, and they just beat the shit out of each other, chap. Apollo Creed's, his ribs. Because Rocky, apparently, he's very good at the body shots. Like, not so much the face. Like, he'll fucking hit you in the face and shit. But, like, the body shots. And that's what's really hurting Creed. Is that, like, he's starting to bleed in terms of my fucking ribs are broken, man. I can't breathe. And then, but Apollo Creed, he prefers, like, the punches to the face. Like, Rocky's like, I can't fucking see. And they're like, you gotta cut me. And they cut. And it's like, oh, God. And they cut him, Chad. And this big split of blood shoots out his eye. But he needed to do that. They needed to cut the eyelid. So they do that. Oh, Rocky's nose is also broken the first time he broke his nose ever. He's like, he always prided himself in the fact, I never broke my nose. But here, Apollo Creed did break his nose. And then, in the 14th round, they're going at each other and everything. At first, like, Apollo seems to have the upper hand. Rocky, he goes down, he stands up. Apollo's like, fucking Christ. I don't believe. He's like, I can't believe it. And we get the iconic music playing in the background, chat. And then Rocky, he goes and just hit him in the goddamn ribs. Apollo's like, no, like the entire time. And they call it. It's over. Round 15's over. The full 15 goddamn rounds, chat. everyone's cheering. Everyone's like, okay, we got. The judges, they're like, shit. How do we call this? Like they don't know, Chad. They need some time to figure this out. Apollo Creed, he's just fucking leaning there. It's like I do not feel well. They're like everyone, like the reporters are talking to Rocky and Creed, but you know, Rocky wants nothing to do with the reporters. He's just screaming, Adrian, Adrian, and Adrian comes out there and she's just running towards Rocky, Chad, and her fucking hat gets ripped off, and then. During this, the announcers, the judge, they announced that Apollo Creed, they say that he has won the fight. He's going, yay, my ribs, yay. But Rocky doesn't even hear that. We see Adrian walk up and she embraces him, and Rocky goes, where's your hat? That's the one thing that, again, so Rocky. He's like, what happened to your hat? I like that hat. It's gone. And she goes, Rocky, I love you. He's like, you love me? I love you too. And they're kissing Chad, and even though he can't feel a fucking thing, and they're embracing. We get the iconic, you know, like shot, freeze frame of him just going, ah! And that is Rocky, chat. That is Rocky. An amazing sports film. And it's cool because even though he lost the fight, he got that chance, and he was a winner in life. He finally got everything he wanted. He has a family. He finally has money to support that family. So this was a victory for Rocky, chat. He was down his entire life, and he got a chance to do it. And even though he lost this particular fight, he wins all the other ones in the future, including against Apollo Creed later on. But it was still a victory, chap. It was still a victory for him. He's no longer a bum. And that's Rocky. Again, amazing movie.